Corey joins us now. Hey, Corey, how are you?
Hey, how are you, Laura?
I'm great. Give us a sense of how things look today.
Well, things have really tightened up as Ed has moved more toward the right, as he's embraced, the issue on illegal immigration, as he's embraced protecting historical monuments. The polls have tightened a lot. And then, of course, he couldn't have gotten a better gift than from the liberals when they ran that stupid ad. The Latino Victory Fund ran that ad of the white guy trying to chase down minority children in a pickup truck, and that is just, that's resounding
the lowest
across
of the
the
low.
state.
Yeah,
the lowest
especially,
of the low, and a big dumb
Corey,
mistake.
since illegal immigrants have in fact run down Muslim kids or teenagers and other innocent Virginians because of the open borders policy of the federal government and the failure to deport people. So the opposite is actually true.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, MS-13 is running rampant across the state. It's not just in Northern Virginia. It's down in the western part of the state as well, from Winchester all the way down to Bedford. So, Ed was smart to seize on this issue. It's one I used against him in the primary, and, almost defeated him. But it was primarily because of these hot-button issues that a lot of Virginians care about, not just Republicans.
Well, let's talk about whether it was a mistake for him to not invite Donald Trump to campaign. What is your gut on that? Because, look, again, Virginia is tricky. Trump didn't win Virginia. But there is still a lot of affection and support for Donald Trump in key turnout areas of the Commonwealth, correct?
That's absolutely correct. I mean, there was not a stronger part of the country for Donald Trump last year than Southwest Virginia. And this is an off-year election, and if you want to get your base out, you've got to embrace the President of the United States. You've got to embrace Trump. And Ed has refused to do that. He hasn't shown up on the stump with him, and I think that's going to hurt him. The President's tweets today could help. Ed's, moving more toward the Trump agenda in the last couple of weeks has definitely helped. If he doesn't win today, it's because he didn't embrace the President and didn't invite the President to come down and campaign for him.
Well, I think that the future of the Republican Party, and you saw this years ago, Corey, going back to 2008, you saw it. I mean, you're the only prominent Republican to win countywide in the state in how long?
Since 2009.
Right.
But
years. You saw it all those years ago, that a populist conservative message, properly articulated, can be successful in the state and can work in the state. Even with changing demographics, it can work. And Ed is, he still is quite establishment. And he's not really, a big fan of deportation. He's just not. You have been, and it doesn't mean you're going to win every election, but I think as far as we can discern, the juice for the Republican grassroots is populist.
Yeah, I mean, not only does it help get out the base, but, these core issues, illegal immigration, my county is 60-40 Democrat. It's a 60-40 Clinton county. It's almost 500,000 people here. It's in Northern Virginia. I've been winning it 4 times, largely on cracking down on illegal immigration, because whether somebody's a Republican or Democrat or white or black or Hispanic or Asian, nobody thinks that an illegal alien who's here, who commits a crime, should be released. And so, I've been harping on this for 10 years. We've handed over 8,000 illegal aliens over to the feds for deportation, and I get African Americans coming up to me all the time saying, "Thank you for doing something about all these illegals who are running around the county, committing crimes." It's an issue that more Republicans should embrace. I think the president showed that it's a winner. And it was a winner for me, and it's going to be a winner next year as well, I think.
Well, Corey, you weren't able to win that GOP primary for the gubernatorial race, however. You tried, and you couldn't do it. The establishment ended up beating you out there. However, Steve Bannon yesterday in the Washington Post said that because Gillespie adopted some Trumpian tactics, he did that, and he credited your influence on Ed Gillespie for moving to the right. Do you claim some credit there?
I'll take it.
Why not?
No.
I'll take it.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, I did push him very, very hard. I attacked him very hard during the primary, and we came within 1%. We weren't supposed to get even nearly that close, but people are concerned about this, and they're also concerned. And the other big issue out there that Virginians in particular, because you live here, are very sensitive about, and that's taking down historical monuments. People are very guarded of their history here in Virginia. Ed, as he's done a little bit to embrace, protecting the monuments, that is definitely, I think that's going to, that's built some momentum for him, especially in the western part of the state, the Republican base. And I wouldn't be surprised if, at the end of the day, it's Western Virginia that
social
puts them over
issues
the top.
matter. Hey, Corey,
Yeah,
I just thought of a
absolutely.
commercial. Hey, I just thought of a commercial for you. Ready? You ready?
Yeah.
For again, Corey Stewart's running against Tim Kaine in 2018 Senate race, because I didn't run for Tim Kaine, so Corey had to run. I didn't run against him, so Corey had
Thank
to run.
God
That would have
you
been
did.
fun
You would've
running
won.
against
You
you in
would've
the
won.
primary, Corey.
Yeah, I know you would have.
I'm just teasing, totally teasing. But you know what? Here's a good commercial for you. So the video, the camera zooms in on George Washington, and then Jefferson, and then Adams, like all of these statues of the founders. And a tear is coming down their cheek on the statue, crying. And then you see Washington, Virginia, little Washington, Virginia. You see the plaques noting the classic and the most important battles of the Civil War. One, you put lines through them, knock them down, lines through them, and then at the end, it's more tears. You go back to Washington, or Washington's at the very end, and tear going down the statue. I'm sorry, but it's kind of cribs from the old Indian trash commercial when the Indian is crying. I'm serious. You're laughing at me. But I'm just giving you some free commercial here.
I remember the ad,
I wanted to be an ad person, by the way, and they didn't hire me. Maybe this is why my ideas are stupid. But remember when it was like a country is a terrible thing to waste or whatever, when they trash everywhere, and the Indian's looking over the plane, he sees garbage on the ground, he's crying. So now Washington is looking at this anti-historical onslaught on history, and he's crying for the nation. You're going to win the election if you just do that ad. Produce it right, but that's a good ad.
Yeah. Do I owe you royalties for that? I mean, that
no,
sounds pretty good to me.
I just want you to say on election night when you do your victory speech, when you deliver the speech, I just want you to say, I still remember when Laura Ingraham on the radio told me to do the Washington crying statue ad, and I just want to thank Laura. Okay, that's all. That's all I want.
You got it.
Corey, love having you on. Thank you so much for your perspective, and we're going to be watching very closely tonight. Gosh, Virginia has to save itself. Gillespie, everybody get out there and vote. Corey Stewart, Senate candidate 2018. He'll be up against Tim Kaine. My goodness, got to retire him. We'll take a break. Stay with us.